All right, let's see if the flip works today. Nope. Okay. No flip. Guess I will be doing a slide. Okay, it is 5:30. Let's go ahead and inhale and exhale. We're going to get some deep cleansing breaths going. Emotionally regulate the emotions. So on my count, we're going to count down 3, 2, 1, and begin to inhale and exhale. 3, 2, 1. Good morning. I am Dr. Donna Louise Thomas-Rodgers. I am daughter of Leslie Darnell Thomas, granddaughter of Arthur Jethro Eland II, and great-granddaughter of Levi Thomas. Welcome to your morning mental workout today. Today we are doing Wired Wednesday. Yes, we are doing Wired Wednesday. As always, you're going to need some water. Hydrate. Your brain is 75% water. For those of us on the West Coast, we have just woken up. We were asleep all night. It's 5:30 for us, 5:31 for us. And so even though you were asleep like a nice little toddler that was fed and bathed, your body was still working. As a result of that, it needs hydration. So let me try this one more time and see if I can flip it just so you can see the graphics. Okay. So we have the graphics today. Thank goodness. I think I was just trying to do too much right when I uploaded. Good morning, Lola. Okay, so today we're doing Wired Wednesday, and we are going to be doing the brain bit first. Go into the brain regions. As you can see, the Real Leader brain circuits, 4 fun facts. That's what we're going to be doing today. As I mentioned yesterday, you're going to need a second device for today's live. So at this time, you have time to go gather one, because I'm going to do the brain bit. I'm going to review the brain regions, and then we're going to watch the videos and do the fun facts that we will be researching today. Here is the graphics for today. Again, I tried to do this at the beginning of the live, and I was just too fast for it. So here is the brain bit. Oh, no. I swear, I tell you, YouTube, we're going to get this thing. Y'all going to do what you need to do. Okay. So here's today's brain bit, and it is from yours truly, and it is my perspective on answering questions based in neuroscience. So here's the Neuroscience Foundation for Asking Questions, and we know that one of the 74 principles of leadership is, if you don't know, ask. That means that you should be asking questions all the way up into the day that you're no longer here. Now, here are the neurological aspects or foundations for asking questions. You actually engage the prefrontal cortex, which is the executive coach of your brain. And so it guides curiosity, critical thinking, and your decision making. Next, you use the ACC, which is the anterior cingulate cortex. And what this does is this regulates your focus, it detects gaps in understanding, and it manages your cognitive flexibility. We know that your cognitive flexibility is located in the executive function of your brain. Next, we have the hippocampus. And what happens here is that it retrieves and integrates prior knowledge, so questions connect to relevant context. That is why you ask questions. So you're using what you already know to gather more information to support new learnings. We also found out a couple of days ago that when you stretch yourself and you do more challenging things, the hippocampus rewards you with new neurons so that you can create those new synaptic connections. Next is the temporal lobes. And so the temporal lobes, when you're asking questions, they process the language and the meaning, ensuring that questions are clear and precise. Next, you have the ventrostriatum, and it lights up with anticipation of learning something new, and this fuels your empowerment and your ability to want to learn more and more questions. So when leaders ask questions, these regions actually synchronize to foster insight, collaboration, and adaptive thinking. So what's my perspective? A real leader understands that asking the right questions is not about showing what you know. It is about unlocking what others can discover. And Nola and I have a concept that we call the highly intelligent students. We call them QEs because they have high IQs. And so QEs don't want you to learn. They don't want you to have more information in them. They want you to sit and be in awe of how much they actually know. And unfortunately, in neuroscience, in education, professors are perish or die, and publisher perish, and they don't really want you to ever get on their level. They want you to sit down like some little peons and just be amazed at how much they know. That's not how I see it at all. The more you know, the more you grow. That's the whole purpose of real leadership for show. So neuroscience confirms that the brain grows stronger every time it's stretched by curiosity. It's challenged by perspectives, and it's connected through conversation. And so what happens is when you are challenging yourself, I'm in a neuroscience class right now. So I'm challenging myself to learn and grow. And the hippocampus is rewarding me with new neurons and new synaptic connections because I keep asking questions. I started out with Very Well Mind and in Mayo Clinic and John Hopkins and all of that 10 months ago. And they couldn't keep up with me. So I had to move on. I'm now asking AI for information, and I'm now taking a course with the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, and it's synapses, neurons, and brains. So I can understand the brain in its totality so that I can teach it to you so you can understand it too. So I'm always asking questions every single day. So from my perspective, asking questions is an act of leadership because it does the following. It builds trust. So it shows openness to input, engaging mirror neurons for empathy. It also drives innovation. I'm 647 days into lives every single day, and I am innovating like nobody's business. And so it sparks neuroplasticity by encouraging divergent thinking. When you're asking questions, you're going to embrace diversity, and embrace diversity is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. Next is going to strengthen your accountability. Questions hold people mentally present and responsible. Personal accountability is part of neuropability. The theory of personal accountability is why we're here today as well. And then finally, it creates shared ownership. So it invites others' brains to enter problem-solving processes because you're asking questions. So whether you are a family unit, whether you are at work, whether you are in a social function, whether you are at your religious organization, should you choose to participate in that, problems will occur. And by asking questions, you bring everybody together and you own the process. So the brain benefits for real leaders are this: when you ask questions, you enhance your problem solving. So it strengthens the neural connections and circuits for evaluating multiple solutions. Because you ask questions, you have multiple solutions. I always say get 3 data points and then make your decisions to be able to solve your problems better. It improves your emotional intelligence and emotional regulation. So it engages the limbic system for deeper understanding of others. I am in the people business. I always am observing people, researching people, seeking to understand human behavior on the daily basis with the objective of identifying what can be improved for best, not what's wrong, and then just saying, well, that's just a problem, but literally seeking what is the best way to get things taken care of. And I have to ask questions in order to do that. Sustained curiosity. It keeps the dopamine-driven empowerment high over time. So because I am constantly asking questions, I'm getting that natural release of dopamine from my nucleus accumbens every day, which keeps me asking more and more questions. It keeps me empowered to do what I need to do. And then finally, resilient thinking. It builds neural flexibility to adapt when challenges shift. And my challenges are shifting exponentially every single day. And because I'm asking questions, I'm able to have that cognitive flexibility in the executive function of my brain. So the benefits of asking questions are that you're going to have enhanced problem solving. You're going to improve your emotional intelligence, and you're going to be able to regulate your emotions. You're going to have sustained curiosity, and you're going to be resilient in your thinking. And so hopefully I'm going to be able to turn this around and y'all see it. It's going to be in the bottom and the pink. So that's today's brain bit, everything that I just reviewed. And so that's the real leader perspective of asking questions based in neuroscience. And I made it pink today on purpose because of my book title, Real Leaders Wear Pink. I can't even read what that says. And back again. I don't know why it keeps doing that, but I won't be flipping back. Okay, give me 1 second. I need to report this person. Okay. All right. So next we're going to go to the Wired Wednesday topic, and then we'll get into it. As I mentioned, if you're just now joining, you need to go get a second device because we will be using the YouTube channel to do our fun facts for today. Okay, so Dr. Donna, we're doing fun facts, real leader perspective based in neuroscience on fun facts. So here's my real leader perspective according to ChatGPT. According to Dr. Donna Thomas-Rodgers, fun facts are more than lighthearted trivia. They are micro stimuli that activate and strengthen the brain's curiosity, engagement, and retention networks. So you are going to be curious, you're going to be engaged, and you're going to be retained through all of the different networks in your brain. So here are the 4 things that's going to happen from a neuroscience basis when you start looking up these fun facts. Number 1, you're going to get dopamine activation. Fun facts trigger the brain's reward circuitry, and that's the ventral tegmental area and basically the nucleus accumbens. And this is going to give you a release of natural dopamine. This chemical is to boost how you feel good, and it also improves your empowerment and your learning readiness. So you're going to do the first question, go, ooh, I like this. I want to do the next question. What's the next question? What's the next question? Secondarily, it's going to give you hippocampal encoding. So novel and surprising information stimulates the hippocampus, making fun facts easier to store in your long-term memory. So you're going to look this information up, and then you're going to have it. And then you're going to be able to amaze all your family and friends and coworkers because you're going to have some new fun fact information that they didn't necessarily have. Next is going to engage your prefrontal cortex. So it's going to process unexpected but relevant details to sharpen your executive function, like pattern recognition and flexibility thinking. So you're going to get some dopamine, you're going to encode your long-term memory, and you're going to increase your executive function and pattern recognition and increase your cognitive flexibility. And then finally, you're going to do some amygdala tagging. So this is going to process the emotional reactions to fun facts, tag the memory as meaningful, increasing recall accuracy, dopamine boost, hippocampus encoding, strengthen the prefrontal cortex, and your amygdala is going to be happy too and say, ooh, we like that. Let's do that again. So here is the Real Leader application from Dr. Donna. It's going to open your mental gateways. So using brief, intriguing facts, it primes the brain for deeper discussion or training. Okay, next is going to build connections. So shared discovery of something novel fosters bonding through mutual curiosity. It's going to enhance your retention. So leaders who interface with complex material with light brain-friendly facts improve and recall rates during follow-up. And then finally, it's modeling lifelong learning. As I've always said, you will be learning up until the day after you're no longer here. And this demonstrates the value, curiosity, and intellectual play as much as discipline and structure. So basically, I have 13 curious question playlists, not 8 or 6 poll questions. And then I have dailies, 2 different sets of dailies, 2 different daily challenges, because what's happening is you are asking questions, you're researching fun facts, and then you can use all of this to engage with others so that they too will experience dopamine boost, prefrontal cortex strengthening, amygdala happiness, and hippocampus encoding. So here are the practical Real Leader strategies. You start with a fun fact, 30, 60 seconds worth of relevant information. And then what happens is it embeds curiosity and it triggers this, oh my goodness, and I want to know more. Please tell me, I would like to have a conversation. And then you use these fun facts to have people that you're engaging with share with one another. So if you did the 30 daily challenge, and some of you have done that, what you do is you research the topic and then you go have a 1 to 2 minute conversation with someone, and then you send me a summary of all of that. And what happens is you start talking to people about who invented the doorknob and who invented Uno and who invented the umbrella. And now you have this whole conversation that will be totally different. Things that you use day to day that you're not even paying attention to. Who invented the windshield wiper? And it was a woman who didn't even have a driver's license. So you have this new information, but the researching, the encoding in the hippocampus, now when you want to find something else out, because you went to go research these fun facts, you are no longer like, ooh, research. I don't like research. Now I got to go read it. The brain is already primed. That synaptic pathway, neural pathway has already been created. So now you can go do bigger and better research. Plus, the people you interact with, you're now having a more positive interaction. Think positive is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. And when you actually do these fun facts, it allows you to think positive. And now you have this better interaction, and now there's this release of natural dopamine. So the next time you see the person, the next time you interact with them, you can have another fun fact. There are literally hundreds of questions on my YouTube channel that you can ask, things that you can look up, conversations that you can have that will take you out of negativity bias and confirmation bias and conformity bias and create this new learning experience for you that will strengthen your capabilities as a real leader and strengthen your neurological pathways so that you can continue to learn, grow, and develop. So what questions do you have for any of what we're getting ready to do? So asking questions is what we're getting ready to do, which is why I did the brain bit first. And then you're going to do the research for that process. So if you are not already on a second device, have a second device ready, because that's the only way you're going to be able to fully participate. So what you're going to do is go to the home page, and I'm trying to make sure the selfie light doesn't get in the way, but you should be on the home page of my YouTube channel. When you are there, let me know, because this is what you should be seeing. This is the home page. Okay? Now, what you're going to do once you're there is give me a thumbs up and let me know that you are there, so I will know who is fully participating today. And it's daily 2 is the playlist. And so what you're going to do is you're going to watch the video, and it will have a question. And then from there, you're going to research the answer. So we're going to have a lot of lulls today, but then we're going to get a lot of information. So you're going to get the question, and then you're going to research what that is asking. And then once you get the answer, the fun fact, the reveal, you're going to type that answer into the comment section. So the first one is, who invented the erasable ink pen? Who invented the erasable ink pen? So go ahead, watch the video, and then go research that and type your answer in. I'm going to be on mute. My phone is not making any noise. Why would it be making noise, Lola? I put us on mute. So the question was, if you can hear me, is to look at the video on the home page of the YouTube channel, and you're researching who invented the erasable ink pen. Can you hear me? You're saying it's not giving me an answer. Did you, Kevin said you go hoarding. Did you Google it, Lola? Did you Google it? Did you go to Google? Your other phone didn't give you an answer. Did you Google it? So Kevin said Yukio Hori. And good morning, Mr. Hook. And Nola said, I didn't know Gillette owned Papermate, and I didn't know Papermate made it. Okay. Yes, so Google it. If you just go search it at Google, who invented the paper? Not, I'm about to get it. Who invented the erasable ink pen? So as we can see, Kevin and Nola have different answers. And so with inventions, you will find that it's first the file, who had the patent, who improved it. And so I went in chat to see, and chat gave me a nice little table. And it said, basically, it started in the 1930s, early erasable fountain pens, and then blinked with bleached ink technology. It went on to 1979 with Nola's Papermate answer, and then 2006 did some work. But then there was Yukio Hori, and he was a pilot in 1971, and he disputed it, and that's Kevin's answer. And so, as you can see, something as simple as most of us have used erasable ink pens before. I thought it was a cool thing. Yes, and Lola has Japan. And so, what happens with these things that we use every day, this is not even something that you would even be thinking about. We just had it. And for those of us who still use pens, it's still available for you. But this was something that took time. Like somebody said, ink is permanent. But what if it's not? We can erase lead with pencils. Why can't we erase ink? And so as a result, you have this evolution of erasable ink. The one thing that I will say about erasable ink is it was never really gone. You know, with pencil, you could really make sure it's almost gone, but with erasable ink, it was there, wasn't there, but you then still had to kind of write over what you wrote over. But it was an interesting fact. And so, yeah, we have that. The next one is the on the scene, like I'm saying, the dentist scene. On the scene is you'll see a picture. Okay. You'll see a picture of pearls. So go ahead and research the next question. And I don't want to say it because then now you get it, but you still have to research it. So clutch my pearls. Watch the video and then go and research it. You said the second person was played on investing and living colors. And you're talking about with the pen, Lola? And Nola said the late 19th century in the film literally be done. Yes. So it came from that. Yes. The actual literal act of clutching your pearls. I said being done. Yes, literally being done. Yes, ma'am. Oh, right, on living colors. Yes, it was. Yes. And so I think it was with Twan and Blaine on the living color. Is this or is that on my phone? I think that's on my phone. Yes, and so that's where it came from. I'm gonna clutch my pearls. Oh my gosh. And pretty girls wear 20 pearls. All right, Mr. Hook, did you locate it? Wealthy women reacted with exaggerated shock or dismay. You couldn't spell the first part. It's okay. Yes. Shock or dismay. And so that's why I say clutch my real leader pearls. All right, the next one is, and I know I've said this statement before, hence that's why it's a daily, is how old was Methuselah? How old was Methuselah? Nola has presented her answer. Kevin has presented his answer. And prior to me making this, yes. So prior to me making this, I have said this statement before a lot and had no hundred and had no idea. I said no hundred, no idea how old Methuselah actually was. And so according to the research, 969 years old. So when we think of our age in theory, it's like, so when the statement is made that something as old as Methuselah, that bird is old as Methuselah. Man, they old as hell. They old as Methuselah. That concept is old as Methuselah. You are saying something is old, 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 old. Really, really, for real, like old, old. And so my question to you is, prior to you looking this up, did you know how old Methuselah was? Did you have any idea when they said old, the statement, the colloquialism is old as Methuselah? Did you understand that that's like saying, we Googled it, Lola. If you Googled how old is Methuselah, then the answer will pop up on Google. Because I switched from chat to Google because I don't want my chat feed to be, because in chat, I'll mess up my chat algorithm. So I switched to Google. So if you just go to your Google search on your phone, either use Chrome or Google, and then type it in the search bar, then it will tell you. Yeah, so Methuselah, almost 1,000 years old. So when someone says, yeah, now you can go amaze your family and friends. Well, did you know that Methuselah was 969 years old when he died? I don't know what conversation you will be having that you just inject that fun fact. That's how you can introduce it. Today I was on the live and we had a fun fact about Methuselah. As I clutched my Real Leader pearls using my doggone erasable ink. Okay. All right. So the next one is the mezzanine. 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 So look at the video first because I worked real hard. Yours only says that? Really? I don't understand why, Lola. Do you have Google Chrome? Maybe if you switch to Chrome first, they're both Google, but your phone might have a different search though. That could be it too, because search engines depending on what they are, deliver different ones. But you could set it off to the side and then look on a different search engine. Be well, Nola. So keep that as a question. I know, exactly, Kevin. I didn't know Methuselah was a male either until I actually created this, because usually we call women old. We don't never really say old men. So when you said that, yeah, exactly. So the next question is, what is the origin of the mezzanine? What is the origin of the mezzanine? And I have spelled this wrong on my own notes. So the mezzanine is Mezzanine. Good morning, Sean. You need a second device today to fully participate as we are researching fun facts that I have developed, as it will improve your prefrontal cortex, your hippocampus, your amygdala, and you will get some nice little dopamine boost on your own. Plus, fun facts allow you to change conversations with your family and friends to create a more positive experience. So we are on the homepage of my YouTube channel in the playlist Daily 2, and we're on the fourth question, and it is, what is the origin of the mezzanine? So if you go to the homepage on the YouTube channel, let me get back to it to show you. So this is what it looks like. So if you go to my homepage, we're in that fourth video. I'm trying to get out of the selfie light. And so the mezzanine is spelled Mezzanine. 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 Okay. Okay. So Nola says Renaissance Italy, for servants to move without disturbing formal floors. And Lola says it comes from the word medium. Okay, so it's in the middle. So if you ever gone to a play, an opera, I've sat in the mezzanine before, so you're not on the main floor, you're not in the balcony, you're sitting in that middle area off to the side, kind of basically the rich folk seats. So it's private, only a few people can sit there. Yes. So if you have mezzanine seats, is it a chamber? It is is an area for operas. So if you go to any show in the theater, it's those side seats onto the side of it, or it's this in between level, like Lola said. So it's in the middle. So sometimes in buildings, they'll have a mezzanine where you can look down onto the floor in between. So a mezzanine would be in between floors 1 and 2. So now you're in the middle and you can look down on the first floor and look up to the second floor. So it's in the middle and it allows you to view something at a lower level. So if you just Google a picture of a theater, like an opera house, and there'll be those seats off to the side, kind of rounded off. From the Italian word mezzanino, meaning the middle. Yes, exactly. So if you've ever gone to a play or opera, we used to go to, now I can't think of the name. It was right by my high school too, to see plays. And so if you could get mezzanine seats, that was the thing, because you wouldn't have to be crowded with a bunch of people, and then you'll be able to see the stage at a better level. Because sometimes if you're on the floor, you're kind of looking up, and then if you're too high up, you can't really see anything either. So the mezzanine seats or orchestra pit, those are the best seats. Okay, great job. So, has anyone ever sat in a mezzanine seat before? Have you had a mezzanine experience? Have you ever been in a building and got on the elevator and pressed M, which puts you in the middle of 2 floors so that you could see what was going down? They do it in apartment complexes and office buildings a lot, where you can see down and see up, and so you're in the middle. So you wouldn't be on floor 1 or floor 2, but you'd be on M, which is, as Kevin and Lola said, mezziano for mezzanino. I mean, not as of yet. Yes, so it's definitely a theater experience. That's been my experience, and in high-rise apartment complexes. Okay, so next, on YouTube, so there's this. Okay, it's reset. So for those of you looking, see this little arrow right there where my finger is pointing. You're going to press that down little arrow. Looks like a little V. You're going to press that, and more videos are going to be revealed. More videos. So it looks like a V. It's pressing down. And that will get you to the next question on the list. And I believe that you all will find this one interesting, because a lot of these topics came from Nola and I just driving around asking questions about things. When you spend as much time on the road as we do going to appointments, things just show up, and we don't listen to the radio in the car, so we talk. But the next question that you're going to look up is, what is the difference? And please watch the video too, so you can get it, so you have a visual picture. Just like on the picture with the mezzanine, you can see that it's in between the floors, because I worked really hard to find different graphics so that you could see it and then go research it. So the next question is, what is the difference between an estate sale and a garage sale, which we see both of those quite often? It's on your bucket list. Okay, cool. Make it happen. Make it happen. And they have different, like off Broadway, it's not expensive if you go see something that's not like this popular thing. I'm saying don't go pay for mezzanine seats to see Hamilton, because that might break the bank for some people. But you definitely can go see smaller plays and smaller groups, acting groups. They put on shows off Broadways and things like that. It's good. It's a good experience to have. So the next question is, what is the difference between an estate sale and a garage sale? Go ahead and see what your search engine reveals for you. State sale is like an auction. I did not know that snails actually like water. No, what? I don't know what Google was telling me. I apologize. Google sent me some notification. State sale, estate sale, ESTATE. So what's the difference between an estate sale and a garage sale. Lola says an estate sale takes place in a house. Oh no, no apologies. Yeah, it's an estate. I speak fast and my Midwestern accent will kick in. One's all the item and one's a collection of items. And the reason how this question came up is because, again, us driving around, we would see estate sale signs and then we would see garage sale signs. And I was like, well, what is the difference? And then I'm like, is it because of the neighborhood we in? Or is it something else? Because even in our community, we'll have a community-wide garage sale. So that just means everybody can, on that day in the fall, can just you can have your own garage sale. You can have your individual garage sale, or they'll have like the senior living community by our house will have it. So it's a community-wide garage sale. Nola said an estate sale is the whole house and a garage sale is just some items from the house. And then Lola said one is in a building, the other is outside. Yes. And so the estate sale, and we've seen it, especially because we live by the senior community. So that's somebody, all their entire items are being sold. And it's because of the death, a move, or financial constraints. So what we have also seen is big giant signs, posters on light posts and stuff. So what we have experienced because of where we live, divorce or bad business decisions, and so they will be having an estate sale with Lambos and art, auctioning off big shit like real vehicles, helicopters. I'm not kidding. Literally, you're like, so this person lost all their money and now they gotta sell their helicopters. They gotta sell their Lambos, Ferraris, what is it, Monets, Picassos, all kind of stuff. They like broke. Like all their stuff is gone. Like they are underwater, upside down on theirs. And so yes, estate sales, you walk in through the house and grab whatever it is that you want. And to your point, Sean, is that sometimes they do take everything and then go and auction it off because they're removed it, especially like, if they did bad investments or they owe a lot of money. They come and take all your stuff and then they sell it and pay all your debtors. But if you can still have it at the home and you're selling this yourself, then, or your estate is selling it, then that's the difference. And so people literally, you sell everything versus the garage is outside. You're usually standing in front of the garage in a driveway on the sidewalk and people come up and grab a couple items, but you're not ridding yourself of everything in your house. It's just unwanted items or items that you're no longer using. Okay, next on the list, and I got to go back down myself, is where did the term knee jerk come from? So watch the video. Where did the term knee jerk come from? Knee jerk. Where did it come from? I see what's the name. Now I understand what Google was trying to be chat with that. I get it now. They're worried, as they should be. They've been dominating long enough. I got shea butter or something in there. Where did the term knee jerk come from? And this actually came from Frito-Lay training. That's where it originated, the idea. I'll probably need a wipe on these because that's not going to get it. Are y'all there? Is the chat functioning? Can somebody type something so I know the chat is still enabled? Ouch. Did y'all hear that? My shoulders. Thank you, U.S. Army. No, is it not? Okay. Huh? The knee jerk? I don't see the knee jerk response. The next one was slow the knee jerk. Well, it was knee. What is the origin of knee jerk? I said go to the next question. Okay, give me a second. Okay, got it. I can't see it on my screen. Okay, here we go. So Nola says it comes from a YouTube. I got to be on my tablet now. It comes from the doctor exam of hitting your knee to check your nerves and stuff. Yes. Sean says it originates from the patellar reflex, a medical term describing the involuntary kicking motion of the leg. Jessica said for medicine, where the jerky motion the knee makes when tapped, it is called the patellar reflex, first seen. And Nola said we all type stuff. Yes, and this reflex was first studied in 1875 by William Ebb and Carl Frederick Westphal. Yes, so that is correct. And so from a colloquialism perspective, knee-jerk response means that you are literally saying something without getting all the information. And so basically, it's your hijacked amygdala. So your amygdala is hurrying up and doing something without you being able to say, hold up, wait a minute. So it's a lack of inhibition control in the prefrontal cortex. And so the amygdala, right amygdala normally is the one that pops off, and then the left amygdala, the ACC, and the insula come in. And so that's that knee-jerk response. So this involuntary thing that just takes place, and now you're like, uh-oh, I done said the wrong thing. Okay, got it. So let me go back, and gotta love YouTube, I swear. Okay, I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in the middle of trying to go through 3 different things at the same time. So the next question is, where did the phrase learn on the fly come from? Learn on the fly. Where did that phrase come from? Learn on the fly. Excuse me. All right. Let me come back in YouTube and see where I'm at. Turn this volume down. Okay. Kevin said it originated from the patella reflex, a medical term referring to automatic kicking motion of the leg when the patellar tendon is tapped. And Lola said American basketball. Okay. This is interesting. The late 1800s of baseball catching a ball on the fly. I see your test. Yeah. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I have to be on the live here and I have to be on the live here, typing it in and looking at your responses. And then so I'm actually a perfect example of learning on the fly right now. Yes, this is a funny sense of humor the universe has for me today. American baseball in the mid 1800s. This is Sean referring to a ball caught in the air before it touched the ground. Yes, Lola, your answer was you said American basketball, but I think you meant baseball. American baseball. Yes, it's catching a ball mid-air. Yes, it is catching the ball mid-air, and what it then did was it turned into a phrase of something planned ahead, something not planned ahead. So you're doing it in the moment. So I'm actually doing it on the fly. Yes, baseball. So I'm actually learning on the fly right now because instead of me trying to click out, I had to make a choice. Click out, start the live over, or use my tablet for a third reason now in order to make this continue to flow because now I would have to do part two. Everybody got to log out, log back in. So I had to make a choice on the fly to now look at what you were saying, go back out, get my answer because these are from a while ago. So I definitely don't remember the answer off the top of my head. Okay, yes, ma'am. I got it, Lola. Okay, and now the next one is canary in a coal mine. Canary in a coal mine. So if you go and look at that video, just so you can see what it is, and then go back and research it. Canary in a coal mine. Coming back. Let's see what we got. Yeah, YouTube won't even let me be in my own live. Okay. It means dangerous, Kevin Hook. Its original meaning is to catch something in mid-space or mid-air. Yes, that's for the baseball. The next question is canary in a coal mine. What does that mean? And Lola said it means dangerous. You got the hang of it now, Lola. I just want to know why that did that, honestly and truly, and why I can access it on my tablet, but in my actual chat, I can't. That's crazy. Yes. And if anyone else typed it, I see my danger, but I see Kevin's his original meaning is to catch something in mid space or air, and then Lola is says it means dangerous. So if the rest of you have typed something in, I'm not currently seeing it. Okay, Nola. It used to see if coal mines were dangerous prior to miners entering. Yes. So if the canary, I tell you what, coal mining was dangerous work. That movie, Coal Miner's Daughter, about Loretta Lynn. I'm a coal miner's daughter. Stuff we had to watch on TV back in the 80s, I tell you. And then Kevin said it was an early warning indicator of potential dangerous situations. That's what we need now. We need some canaries now. So when you meet somebody, wouldn't that be great if you met somebody and a canary flew past them? Danger, danger! Like, go away, go away! Oh my goodness! So we have like a canary warning device. You go, hold up, let me check you, canary. Let me see if a yellow canary come out of you. October Sky is another good mining movie. Yes, it'd be like, I gotta check. You know how they can check radiation and everything. Get you a canary and just sit them there and see if they fly away from the person. That would be hilarious. Okay, I'm cracking myself up. All right, very good, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, and so I had 10, but I knew we weren't gonna get through 10. I just wanted to make sure that I had enough to make sure that we got through the process. And so basically, let me go back to my other notes. And let's see if I can make this happen simultaneously. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. I will not be using 3 devices for a live. That's insane. Not going to happen. So YouTube, get it together. All right, so what should have taken place is that you should have had a release of dopamine. Your hippocampus should have started encoding some things. Your prefrontal cortex should have felt engaged, and your amygdala should have started doing some tagging of the fun facts. And what this should have done was that you now have this new level of research, the ability to go get some information. And so, what that's doing is that's creating your neural path for research. Fun, you start with fun facts. You always start with something that's rewarding, a quick, nice, not a quick, but a dopamine release for something that's difficult. So now you can go and do something more challenging. So now, if you needed to research something for business, or for something else for personal reasons, now you can do bigger things. If you want to start researching about the brain, you can start to do that, but you just start with a fun fact. So if you need to find out some deep information, just come to this page, go to this playlist, and scroll down, pick something, and then research that first. Something that interests you. And then go and do this other thing. So it's almost like the 1 minute start rule with procrastination. And so you know how we talked about that. If you feel like you're procrastinating, just set a timer for 60 seconds and start the task just for 60 seconds. And that gives the prefrontal cortex enough time to start it and the amygdala enough time to calm down to try to stop you from talking you out of it. And so this is the same thing. So when you find yourself needing to learn something, just come here. Pick from the daily 1, daily 2 playlist. You can even do curious questions and think about something else. Get the answer. And this is the warm up to you having to go and research something bigger. So if you feel like you need to learn something and amygdala's like, you can't learn that. Okay, I got it. I just need to research some fun facts. Get this information. Think about when you exercise, you do warm-up stretches, you do warm-up activities. It's the same concept just to get the brain warmed up. And you can even do a fun fact a day. Now you're used to or accustomed to exercising every day this neural pathway to strengthen it. So when you need to do bigger things, when you need to go and ask questions, which was the brain bit, now you have the ability to do it, the confidence, the internal confidence to do it because you know how to do it. You already have the skill set for it. I'm going to ask a question, I'm going to get an answer, and then I'm going to take that information, turn it into a strategy, and use that information to become a bad mofo. With that being said, the 2 questions for today, actually I have 3. Number 1, what did you learn today? What did you learn about yourself? And then how do you feel about researching fun facts? So what did you, and I see yours now, Sean and Lola. Okay, what did you learn today? What did you learn about yourself? And what did you learn about researching fun facts? Sean said, as an early warning system for toxic gases, the smaller size and higher metabolism made them more susceptible to gases like carbon monoxide. Yes, ma'am. And then Lola said, I learned that I can use several of my brains just trying to find an answer. It's not wrong or right thing with me being able to strengthen certain parts of the brain. Exactly. So we weren't really taught how to do research in school. Even in my doctorate program, it's just by the time you get to that level, they just assume you know how to do it. Even when you're doing qualitative and quantitative analysis, it's kind of really just for this thing that you're working on. But in order for you to find answers to questions, you got AI, you got Google, you got everything in the palm of your hands. I'm a little preoccupied getting the kids ready, but the difference in answers was cool to see. And this is a nice playlist. Yes. Okay, I got it. I understand, Jessica. Nola, I learned about myself using ChatGPT for research is good. It is. It has the answers, and that's why Google is trying to step their game up. This is reminding me of when Walmart underestimated Amazon, and by the time Walmart looked up, Amazon was killing it, and it took Walmart almost 5 years to catch back up again. So this is the same thing. Google was dominant, the dominant search engine, owns YouTube and a bunch of other entities, and everything was like, we good, we good, we good. And then Chat said, hold my tea. And Google was like, what the what? At first, they heard the rumblings and thought it wasn't no big deal. And now they're like, damn, they on Chat 5. We got to step our game up. So if you notice that when you're doing a Google search now, it's got the little clip, like paper clip on it. And now it's got all this other stuff. It was asking me that I want a more thorough search and everything. Because Google's whole thing is that they're free. But what Google didn't understand is that Chat, you'll pay it because it's customizable and you're getting better information. I guarantee you're going to be able to start making graphics and everything else and getting advice on Google. Give them 18 months. They just got to do, it's not Say's Law. Damn it, I'm forgetting what it is, where technology repeats itself every 18 months to get faster. Okay. And so Nola said, I learned about, yes. And then, yes. Did you see? Oh, I learned that Gillette owns Papermate. Yes. And now I see that too. So I learned that Gillette owns Papermate. I learned about myself using ChatGPT for research is good. And then what did you learn about fun facts? So those are the 3 questions on the table. What did you learn? What did you learn about yourself? And then what did you learn about basically research and fun facts? Or information that's not, it's more positive information that you can actually use the information to have conversations about. And just like Nola said, I learned that Gillette owns Papermate. Like, why would Gillette, a razor company, own a pen company? Because they're subsidiaries and they need to make their portfolio diverse so that they can keep their stock prices high. So you'd be surprised what companies own, the S Corps own of the other companies to make it very diversified. If you look at Berkshire Hathaway, they own Nevada State Bank and doggone NV Energy and U.S. Bank. So Kevin said, today's 5 a.m. gym days are brutal. Nola said Amazon owns Shazam. Or Kevin, you could say that you have a lot of opportunity for growth in your physical fitness. So if you say that they're brutal, it's going to be harder to do. So I do what's called, we have reframing. And before I knew about neurological reframing, I used the reality distortion from Steve Jobs. Your glasses. What about my glasses? I said Apple owns Shazam, and you said your glasses. So you can say you have a growth opportunity when it's time to waking up and going to the gym. And then that will shift the brain. Because if you keep saying it's brutal, then it's not a pathway that the brain is going to want to wire. The basal ganglia is going to be like, I said Amazon. I apologize because I was talking about Amazon. I literally saw Apple. Apple owns Shazam. That's perimenopause right there. Okay. And anything else, Kevin? You have today's 5 a.m. days are brutal. Lola, I know I don't like answering questions, but doing this improves and empowers my thinking. Wow, this has helped me a lot. Now I'm asking and answering. Yes, ma'am. That is correct, Lola. I have learned that multitasking is a challenge, as well as I know I can do it, and I enjoyed exceeding the challenge. This was fun. Okay, one thing that I would like to let you know, Sean, is that the brain can't actually multitask. This was something that people came up with, but it's actually not true. What is actually called is task jumping. So multitasking says that you can do multiple things at the same time. But what's actually happening is task jumping. So you're going from one task to the next by completing each task. Multitask means that you get back to that task and it's basically like starting over. So you want to complete the task, move on to the next task, move on to the next task, and that's what it's actually called neurologically. So even though I was using my tablet, I was telling you all the question, task complete. Going to research to answer myself, task complete. Coming back to the live and seeing everybody's responses, that means that the task was complete. So multitasking means I stop in the middle, don't ask the question, start searching, don't get the answer all the way, come back, see what y'all doing. That's multitasking. And so that's why you're not as effective if you don't complete the circuit. So complete the task, go to the next task, complete the task. So think of it as circuit training, how you might do 20 push-ups and then you do 20 sit-ups, you can do 20 jumping jacks. So it's more a circuit as opposed to tasking. All right. Anything else before we get out of here? And so Wired Wednesday is most likely you will be using a second device. And then to go back to your answer, Lola, if you're still, I know you've been having to go. So if you're still here, part of the reason why we don't like asking and answering questions is because we started asking and answering questions with our parents and our teachers. And if they didn't like answering questions, then you were trained to not ask. If they made you feel bad, if somebody at school made you feel bad for not knowing the answer, long ago in those formative years, elementary school will determine if you're going to ask questions going forward. And it's because people don't have the information. So actual educators and people who want you to learn and grow don't mind you asking questions. And now you have the ability, thank you, internet, AI, Google searches and all of that, even on YouTube, social media platforms, you can actually get the answer that you actually need. And now people are encouraging it. It's like, oh, just look up a YouTube video. Oh, just look it up on TikTok or something like that. But we weren't always in this area. So when you find yourself not wanting to ask a question or answer a question, ask yourself, where did that come from? Trace it back when you're in your default mode, network, personal time. Why don't I like asking questions? Or why don't I like answering questions? And most of the time it's because you don't have the answer. And when you ask somebody, they didn't have the answer and they made you feel bad for asking the question. But fuck them. Get the answer. I don't care who got the answer. I'm going to go get the answer from whomever. I will ask anybody. If I need the information, I'm going to go get the information from whoever I know. I will ask my enemy the answer to a question. I don't care. You got the answer. Hey, I know we won't fuck with each other like that, but listen, I need this information and you got it. After that, we good. We never got to talk again, but I'm going to need this information from you. Yes. And so, yes, my pleasure. So that's what's actually happening. And it's okay to not know the answer. But that's why it's a principle of real leadership. If you don't know, ask. If you don't know, ask until you get the answer. If one person can't give you the answer, then you might have to ask 10 people. I mean, I have been asking about the brain since October 1st of last year, 10 months in. Sometimes I got the answer and sometimes I didn't. I wasn't using chat because people kept saying, chat is cheating, chat is cheating. I'm like, chat is the shit. Okay, I'm a pro person on chat now. I'm getting every answer I need. Plus, I'm getting the answers about my own research from chat. I wish somebody would say chat ain't shit. I will fist fight them. Almost, maybe. Like, man, get out of here. I tell you what, the questions that I asked chat about real leadership and neuroscience backed research versus Google ain't got that shit instantaneously. So I'm asking who gonna give me the answer for the question that I have. And so that's that. And I said Google was gonna be in trouble when I realized the benefits of AI research. And I said they was gonna have to up their game. And it's time for them to up their game. That's how it goes. And that's why you have to always be learning and always be growing and improving, because if you rest on your laurels, next thing you know, some newer, better, badder, bolder, smaller entity could come and pass you. And so that's why I'm studying neuroscience now, because I am educated you all, and now you have open synaptic connections. And if I stop, y'all can pass me. And if you do, then that's on me, because I shouldn't have stopped learning. Okay, Wired Wednesday, I believe, was a success. This was me yesterday at an appointment thinking I need to do something different. Didn't know how this was going to go. It was off the fly. I researched it using my own information in chat. Then I said, how can this work? Let me see if it can work. And bumping out the kinks, it would have been better if I could have just looked at my phone and saw what was happening. But YouTube is YouTubing. And so just like y'all can't put your answers in, sometimes I can't do what I want to do. It's a glitch. And that's just how technology works sometimes. Sometimes it's in your favor, and sometimes it's a growth opportunity for you to do something different. Okay, so great live today, great perspective on what's taking place, and know that you can always ask questions. I believe chat is the best AI platform currently, but you could use whatever one you want. If you don't want to pay, you can ask chat up to 5 questions a day before it restarts. So I don't know that you would be asking it as much as I'm asking it, but I think I get like 1,000 questions a month, and I'm probably going to end up at 1,000 when it's all said and done. And I see this, Sean. I really do not like to be unsure. Make me feel good about my knowledge to self and fact check. And it's okay. And that's part of the reason why, Sean, I tell y'all I failed my neuroscience test. I will mispronounce a word and everything else. Because at my educational level, and as long as I've been doing everything I've been doing, in theory, unaccountable people are like, oh, you can't make mistakes. You're Dr. Donna. How dare you mispronounce dopaminergic and all of these things? Because when you are learning something, just think of every time you don't know something and you learn it. You're learning how to walk again. When toddlers fall, nobody ain't like, yo, stupid ass, look at you. You can't even stand up. We got these walking shoes and you still bumping into shit, dumbass. No, that's not what happens. But for some reason, as adults, that's why everybody stays stuck in that one profession, because they don't want to look like a novice, a neophyte, or a new beginner in this thing. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm still the shit. I know a lot about a lot. I'm just learning, because what happens is if you don't learn new information, now the hippocampus is not going to give you new neurons to learn at a higher level. So then you're going to be stuck at the level that you're at. Working memory is going to start to atrophy, and then you're not going to be able to learn anything new. It's going to be harder. So you're constantly ABLing, constantly learning, so that you're always not knowing something, because now you're creating new neural pathways. That's how you get to the 860 trillion synaptic connections, because you are saying, I don't know that. I don't know that. I don't know that. And when you are secure enough in who you are as a real leader, you can say, I don't know that, but I am going to get to know it. And I'm going to be the best at it as soon as I learn it. So it is okay to be in that gray area that we talked about a couple of weeks, maybe about 2 weeks ago on the live. It's okay not to know. You don't know what you don't know. But then when you know better, you do better. So you can research it and get the answers, but at no point, I have no issue saying, I don't know what you're talking about. Where's that at? Show me what you're talking about. Because then I'm going to have the information. Just like today, it opens up the hippocampus. It brings that information in. You're storing your long-term memory. And now you have the inklings of a fire and a wire for your neurons to start creating that synaptic connection. So it is okay to fact check, but it is okay to not know. And only unaccountable people will laugh at you and say you don't know anything. And they know 5 things, and try to ask them anything outside of those 5 things. Well, I don't have any interest in that. Well, and that's not just something. I mean, why would you want? And then they make it seem stupid and dumb and unnecessary and all of that. And it's okay. to not know, research it, know, and then know more. I know more today than I did 10 months ago when I came out as a nerd and put on my first brain t-shirt. And I will continue to know and grow. The more you know, the more you grow. All right, with that being said, great live today. I got to go do some exercising myself. You all have a great brain-tastic day. God willing, higher power in the universe. I will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, safe space, different brain t-shirt. Take care.